I never imagined the day would come when my wife, Emily, would look me straight in the eye and destroy everything we had built together. We had been married for 8 years, and while not every day was perfect, I believed we were solid, steady, unshakable. That evening began like any other. I came home from work expecting dinner, maybe a conversation about her day. Instead, I found her sitting across from me at the table, a glass of wine in her hand, and a coldness in her eyes I'd never seen before. Then she said it, calm, deliberate, and cruel. "I'm with another man tonight. Don't bother waiting for me." My fork froze halfway to my mouth. Time stopped. Her words hit harder than any punch I could have taken. I blinked, wondering if this was some kind of sick joke. But the smirk on her face told me otherwise. Emily wasn't ashamed. She wasn't sorry. She was testing me, daring me to react. Maybe she expected me to beg, to plead, or explode in rage. Instead, I leaned back in my chair. My heart pounded, but my face stayed calm. In that moment, I realized the woman I thought I had married no longer existed. She had been replaced by someone else, someone who had hidden behind lies for far too long. And if she thought this little declaration would break me, she was about to learn otherwise. I set my fork down gently, wiped my mouth with a napkin, and met her gaze. "Is that so?" I asked, my voice steady. She looked surprised I wasn't yelling or accusing her. She raised an eyebrow, clearly expecting fireworks. "Yes," she replied defiantly. "I'm tired of pretending. I've been seeing someone else. And tonight, I'm going to be with him." There was venom in her voice. But under it, I caught a flicker of doubt, as if she hadn't expected me to stay so composed. I stood up slowly, pushed back my chair, and walked over to the cupboard where we kept the wine. She watched closely, maybe waiting for me to snap. I poured myself a glass, took a long sip, and said, "Good. You're finally being honest. Now let me be honest too. You're not coming back." Her smirk faltered. "What do you mean?" she asked, her voice suddenly uncertain. I turned to face her directly. "I mean that when you walk out that door tonight, you don't come back. Not ever." For the first time, her confident posture shifted. She hadn't expected that. She wanted me to grovel, to fight for her, to beg her not to go. Instead, I handed her the rope she thought she was using to hang me. "Pack a bag," I told her. "Or don't. Either way, this house won't be yours after tonight." Her mouth opened, but nothing came out. She couldn't reconcile the man she thought I was with the one standing in front of her. "I didn't think you'd react like this," she finally muttered. I laughed, bitter, but free. "Of course not. You thought you could humiliate me, that you could keep me on the hook while you had your fun with someone else. But I'm not that man, Emily. You made your choice. Now I'm making mine." I pulled out my phone and sent a quick message to my lawyer friend. Divorce papers would be ready by morning. "By the way," I added, "everything in this house is in my name. Don't think you're walking away with half." Her face paled. I could see the panic start to creep in. Suddenly, her bravado vanished. "Wait, we don't have to do this," she said quickly, her voice trembling. Maybe I was just angry. Maybe I didn't mean it like that. I shook my head. "No. You looked me in the eye and told me you were with another man. That wasn't anger. That was the real you." Her excuses fell flat against the weight of her own words. In that silence, I understood how far gone our marriage truly was. I didn't yell. I didn't insult her. I didn't cry. I simply poured myself another glass of wine, sat back down, and let her sit with the crushing realization that she was no longer in control. She fidgeted, trying to find the right words, but I cut her off. "Go," I said firmly. "You wanted him. You have him. But don't ever think you can come back into this house, or into my life, again." Emily left that night, slamming the door behind her. I stayed in the quiet house, sipping my wine, strangely calm. I wasn't broken. I was free. She thought her betrayal would destroy me. Instead, it liberated me. In the weeks that followed, the divorce was swift, clean, and entirely in my favor. Friends who once admired our relationship were stunned by what she had done. But I didn't waste time explaining. I had already moved on, ready to rebuild without the weight of her lies. Months later, I saw her again, by chance, at a mutual friends gathering. She looked tired,
Drained.
a shadow of the woman who once smirked at me across our dinner table. When our eyes met, she looked away immediately. She couldn't even hold my gaze. And in that moment, I knew she finally understood. The night she told me she was with another man, she thought she had shattered me. But my silence, my calm, my refusal to break, that's what shattered her.